365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you to the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
And what's going on, everybody? It's Mr. Ray Bond here with my man Chris. Surprise, we got him back. I won't call him a guest. I know Kenny was very upset about that last week, but we're glad to have Chris back. How you been, man?
Oh, man, I've been good, just wrapping up school. As of Sunday, May 7th, 2023, I walked across that stage at Lincoln University getting my bachelor degree in mass communication. So, it's been a smile on my face, but I'm glad I'm back. We in the midst of the playoffs. This is one of the craziest, and I'm sad that I wasn't able to get my thoughts on the first round, but this has been some of the craziest playoff basketball I can remember in a while, in my opinion.
No, I definitely agree with that. We got a good one going tonight. Miami is up 6 on the Knicks. Kenny is watching closely, attentively. He will be hopefully joining us a little later if his heart can handle any potential defeat. And I'm sure if they win, we will definitely see a Knick jersey in the face of elation. So should be interesting here. We'll keep you up to date as we go back and forth between this game. But we can tap in with you, man. We haven't heard a lot from you as far as the playoffs. So just kind of give us your overall assessment. You said it's been crazy. What would you say is maybe the biggest surprise or two or storyline you've seen so far?
I would say to me the biggest surprise is the Knicks and the Cavs. One, am I shocked that the Knicks won? Maybe not so, but the way they won, it felt like a domination against the Cavs. The Garland and Mitchell, they didn't play how I thought they were going to play. And so for that big trade to go down, a lot of people maybe didn't see them as a contender, but a real threat. And for them to lose to the Knicks was shocking. Also, I take that back. The real shocker is going to be Miami and the Bucks. The number one seed. And I look at those two matching up, and the playoffs is all about matchups. I said this, we said this all year, we say this all the time. As far as seeding goes, for a lot of teams it doesn't matter. Like Miami, it doesn't matter. Like Lakers, it don't matter. It's all about matchups. Which team do they match up well with the best? And when I look at the Heat, for some reason, them and the Bucks, they go back and forth. They play the same type of play style. They play defense. They play hard. They shoot threes. And when Giannis goes down, I look at Miami, and they were the Sharks, and they smelled the blood in the water. And they did what they had to do. They would be successful. I look at the Lakers and what they did to the Grizzlies. Now, that one I'm not shocked at, because I look at this Lakers team, and I say that they're really a force to be reckoned with. If they have everybody clicking on all cylinders, if D'Angelo Russell plays how he should play, if their role players play how they should play, this team can easily win the West. When I say easily, I don't mean they're going to steamroll all teams, but I'm saying they're good enough to win the West. So I'm not shocked that they beat the Grizzlies. This is a great playoff year. I did pick the Grizzlies to go to the finals. And when they played the Lakers, I was one of the people that said the Lakers are probably going to win that matchup. Because at the end of the day, when you have LeBron James in the playoffs, when Anthony Davis plays like how he should be, that's the best duo in the league. And so right now, the playoffs is fun, it's exciting, it's fast-paced, it's a new story every day. You got my guy Embiid winning the MVP. I mean, this is just lovely. It's a great time for basketball. I can't wait to see how the game goes out tonight, with the finish of this Knicks and Heat game, how this Lakers and Warriors game is going to go. Because right now, the Lakers, they're underdogs in the playoffs, but I don't care what nobody said. People are scared to play them. And real quick, last team I want to talk about. Actually, I'm going to save that because I know it's on the topic. So I'm going to save talking about that team till we get there. But listen, man, playoffs has been amazing. This is the best time to watch basketball, and I can't wait to see how tonight and the rest of the playoffs unfolds.
That was good. I'm with you on a lot of that. And what you said, I definitely think the Bucks going out and then subsequently firing their coach was
crazy.
the narratives and storylines we didn't see coming. The script might have went off script there a little bit, but Jimmy Butler's Jimmy Butler, and hey, right now the Knicks are having an issue, and they very easily could be going down 3-1 here. So they're currently down 8 on the road, and they're 1%, and they're still down. That doesn't make you happy, doesn't make you warm and fuzzy on the inside, as they say. I would say the Memphis collapse was also not just that they lost to the Lakers, because I don't think anybody was terribly surprised by that. That was a bad one for Jimmy. But the way in which they lost, the way Dylan Brooks just completely fell off out of favor with the team. And at this point, will be very interesting to see what is the future for Memphis. Like, they got a lot of decisions to make. They've already paid some people. They have some people to pay. Jaren Jackson had a bit of a tweet scare for a moment. So the way I look at it, that situation and how it has devolved has been pretty wild. I would also say the way Denver has performed is better than I expected. And I have been a huge, staunch proponent for Joel Embiid to win MVP. Let me be very clear. He deserved to win one of these MVPs. But
Just
right now, the way Jokic is playing right now, woo!
Oh, you have no argument with me.
That boy cooking right now.
With me, because I said this. Right now, this is going to look at as a sympathy MVP. He's going to look. Joel Embiid right now has gotten the sympathy MVP, and I don't understand. In my opinion, he should have got it when he led the league in scoring, not last year, but the year before. And Jokic deserved this MVP this year. So if they would have gave Jokic an MVP this year, I wouldn't have been mad. I just feel as though everybody knows Joel Embiid deserved, out of the past 3 years, he deserved at least one of the MVPs. But in my opinion, this year, I definitely think Jokic deserved it. He made his statement more towards the end, not saying Embiid wasn't deserving of it, but I think Embiid, the way he played, deserved it more 2 years ago than this year. I'm looking at what Jokic is doing. I look how he played last night. And again, I don't want to talk about that series too much, so I'm going to wait until we talk about it in the show. But Jokic is yeah. Jokic is that guy, and it's great to see him play. Yes, he deserved this MVP, and B deserved an MVP. Regardless, Jokic still has two. Jokic is still looked at by many as the best player in the league, and what he did the other night kind of put a stamp on it for a lot of people.
We definitely agree on that. Excuse me. But the other thing I will say was Donovan Mitchell being Donovan Mitchell, and ultimately Trae Young and Atlanta being Atlanta. They won, they got in, and they got out. I think Sacramento has a lot to build on, and I think if you're a team in the West, they bother you because they are a Klay Thompson or wing player away from being really, really dangerous.
I agree with that, and I'm glad you emphasized that wing player. I like Hubert, I like Barnes, but they aren't enough for me. Malik Monk is a guy that should come off the bench, provide that spark. So they're that 2-3 man away, an elite shooter, elite scorer in that wing position. That's going to take them to the next level. And again, that was all about matchups. Nobody was going to be upset if they won or lost to the Golden State Warriors because you're going against the Golden State Warriors. When I look at the Hawks,
go ahead.
When I look at the Hawks, I think Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, I don't want to say it wasn't their fault, but they played better in the playoffs than I expected. Murray had one bad game to me in that series. The rest, I feel like Murray.
He got suspended.
Yeah, he got suspended, and he had one bad game. But the rest in that series, I felt like he was a dog. I feel like when we talked about maybe it's going to be Murray over Trae Young, for a while in that series, Murray was looking like the best player. And with Donovan Mitchell being Donovan Mitchell, listen, I feel like you're the one that said it. He's not a number one on the team. He's not a number one. And I feel like this playoff series really put a stamp on it. Because there was a time in Utah when he was putting up big numbers and they're losing. But it's this series where you put up no numbers and you get destroyed when you're one of the favorites in the Eastern Conference. So for me, that this was just an official stamp that Donovan Mitchell, you're not that guy. You know, I'm a huge fan of your game. But what you showed this year in the playoffs is that you're not a number one to lead a team to where they're supposed to go. And that's okay. That's okay. But Cavs fans, you got to go back to the drawing board. And like you said, the Kings might be the scariest team coming out of this playoffs because they're that one position away from taking off.
I think they need some depth at inside, and I think they need a Jimmy Butler, Klay Thompson-ish kind of guy that can give you consistent defense and some scoring. And I think those people are available. So I think they got cap space, they got draft capital, they have the ability, and they're young. So I think Sacramento will be coming, and I look forward to seeing that. Now we got to get to the good part, as they say. I'm going to wait until I have the full cast here to really pat myself on the back. I have been telling people before all these people jumped on this Ayton bandwagon, I was here shouting from the rooftops.
You're standing on the rooftops as well.
He's not it. I tried to give reasonable explanations. Jay, I'm talking to you. And I was just shouted down. Said the same thing about Kyler Murray. Shouted down. I said I liked Mikal Bridges. Shouted down. And here we are. They could really use him way more than Ayton. I think this is an opportunity to move Ayton, but now you're stuck on a max deal and the value's low. So, Phoenix, you've done it again. You're stuck with Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton on max deals. However, you are in the series 2-2. And I am praying for the health of Kevin Durant. It's back. I am praying for Devin Booker as well. Because boy, oh boy, is he carrying a weight. Shout out to my man Rod. Was good. But I want to go deeper into this topic, but I'll let you go first, Chris. Because we've had different theories on why DeAndre Ayton didn't give us what we thought, by we, I mean y'all, thought that he should give us. So based on what you're seeing, is it a him thing? Is it a team thing? What do you think?
I'll say this. He's a disappointment. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. When I'm watching him, against the Nikola Jokic, obviously Jokic is the better guy. Obviously Jokic is going to win the matchups 9 times out of 10. But that 1 time out of 10, you have to be effective. And he's not being effective. I'm looking at the box score. I'm looking at the games, and I'm seeing him being ineffective. So to your point, yes, they could use a Mikal Bridges right now. But at the end of the day, when you bring in KD, you got a Devin Booker, you need a big. But when I'm looking at DeAndre Ayton, he's looking like an average big. So to your point, to your credit, what you said all them months ago, he's looking like an average big man in the NBA right now. Almost below average. He's giving them nothing. He's not dominating the boards how he should be. He's not being a defensive presence how he should be. His main goal of offense should be getting Nikola Jokic in foul trouble. His best defense for Jokic might be offense. And the fact that he's not even doing that, I'm starting to question my head. And, we talked about briefly how good Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are being together as a duo. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But at the end of the day, DeAndre Ayton, you have the toughest matchup against you. And you're being ineffective. So, maybe he's the reason. I don't want to blame, at this point, you can't put no Monty in them because, When you're in the playoffs, you got to go with your guys. And if one of your guys isn't giving you anything, you can't just wait around for him to pick it up. You got to go with what's working. And right now, what's working is Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And until DeAndre Ayton taps into whatever, made him the number one pick, whatever made him be the most sought out guy to come out the draft, what made him be 18-10 type of guy the past 2 years. Until he taps into that, right now he's been a disappointment. And honestly, I can say he's the liability for them. If he's not playing well, if he's not giving them anything, it's real tough for Phoenix to win. You got to rely on a guy like Landry Shamet. Don't get me wrong, big fan, very good shooter. But at the end of the day, he's a guy that you didn't hear his name around all year. When you got to rely on guys that come in, maybe have one game out of 10 games in the playoffs where they're somewhat effective, because your third guy isn't doing anything, and that's an issue. So DeAndre Ayton, you're the X factor in this series. If you play good, the Suns have a chance. If you play how you playing, listen, they better be lucky they're able to escape a win where Jokic getting 51 points. That shouldn't have happened. Flat out, that should not have happened.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I mostly am putting this on DeAndre, but I don't know if there's a much worse situation he could be in. They don't believe in him. It was evident they didn't want him. And for whatever reason, their hand seemed forced, and they decided to match the offer. They didn't want him. And now they're stuck with him. But the supporting pieces don't fit. He's Bam-ish, but he can't shoot the three. So bringing in Kevin Durant and Devin Booker with Chris Paul, who can't really consistently shoot, didn't make sense. And you got rid of Crowder, you got rid of Bridges. So I'm not sure how they anticipated it working with his skill set. I will also say they're inconsistent. They try to get him started early, but then he fades naturally because it's not realistic. It's not realistic for him to be able to sustain the shot attempts early when you have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant on the team. So naturally, he's going to get lost because he's not really a part of the offense. They just try to force feed him early. It's a facade. It's fake. Everybody just seen the video. He didn't want to shake Chris Paul's hand. Left him hanging twice. We seen him get benched. We heard Monty Williams say we ain't talk all summer. This is just silliness. It was just bad coaching, bad ownership, bad leadership. And it's unfortunate because they got Devin Booker in his prime, and that man's a dog. Kevin Durant is playing at an all-time level. I don't know if we've seen a better duo play since almost Shaq and Kobe, maybe. They are both playing out of their mind. Maybe LeBron and Kyrie is probably the best duo we've seen, but they've been hooping. But they're hooping for their life because they got little to no other help. And I think it's roster construction, and it's unfortunate, but they got to figure it out, and they better figure it out soon. Or they're going to be home. And I think either way, they got to figure something out in offseason. You got to get some depth. So I would move Ayton for some depth. And Chris Paul, good luck getting rid of that deal. But once again, Chris Paul's hurt. My question for you, Chris, is with Chris Paul being hurt, and there's another thing. I liked campaign. Y'all internet people got to go do the research. I liked campaign. I was told he couldn't play. He looks decent, and they look like a better team playing faster. My question for you, Chris, is once Chris Paul is healthy, what does that look like for you for him with this long-term with the organization long-term?
Well, long-term, I think Chris Paul, this might be his last run. This might have to be his last run. Short-term, do you consider him coming off the bench? I mean, listen, I like what you have right now with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. You want to have the ball in their hands. You don't want to tire out Chris Paul. You want to use him in a fourth. But is he best coming off the bench? Is he best with a 2-man game with him and Ayton? Because at the end of the day, like you said, when we got a guy in Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, they're going to take up 20-plus shots a game, especially in the playoffs. So you got to ask yourself, where are the other points coming from? Are there going to be fours, things like that? Chris Paul is going to force the situation. He's going to put players in the best position. So right now, Chris Paul comes back and able to, go on. I would consider bringing Chris Paul off the bench. And to your point with DeAndre Ayton, I mean, he does look lost. Where I think he could be utilized, he's not being utilized. And in a quick pick and pop, in a short mid-range game, I mean, things like that, he's not being utilized. That when you got Devin Booker and Kevin Durant getting double teamed every time when they had the ball in their hand in the perimeter, you would think he'd be able to capitalize on the inside. Right now, I don't want to say the offense is a mess, but like I said, you got guys like Shammy, guys like Campaign, TJ Warren doing a lot of the extra heavy lifting. It shouldn't be like that. They do need some more depth. So if they do move up Ayton, they should get some more depth, but they need to get a quality big. Maybe a big that can shoot the three, can extend the floor, but they need to pick up in that big man category because right now Ayton is not looking like he's worth the money he was paid this season.
Very interesting. Quick development. There was a foul by, I think, Gabe Vincent. I believe they called it a technical. Jalen Brunson landed on his foot. Looked like he rolled his ankle, but he's at the free throw line, swished the first, and he swishes the second. So he looks to be fine.
It was Caleb Martin. He made yeah. Ooh, 3 free throws. Okay.
Yeah, I'm confused. Why is he shooting 3?
Okay. I don't know.
3 in the ball?
3 in the ball. I don't know what happened there. I'll take it though for them
It
parlays.
It was a 3-point shot.
I'll take it for them parlays, man. I'll tell you.
How they been treating you? You been hitting some
Today, knocking on wood. Today's looking like the day. But I had good luck last night. Can't speak for the rest of the playoffs, but last night definitely was good. But I'll say this: watching this game real quick, I have it up on my laptop. I do want to say, for a lot of people saying they wish they had Donovan Mitchell over Jalen Brunson, the New York guys all year. I know you're laughing at that right now because Jalen Brunson has arguably been a top 10 player in the playoffs. And you can make the case, right? You can make the case. And it's just off the head. And that's how confident I am in that. You can make the case that he might be a top 10. He's probably going to be bottom of the list, but he could be top 10.
Interesting. Another interesting thing I want to get your opinion about.
Mm-hmm.
The internet was in a bit of a tizzy about Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook saying they would accept and get their Lakers championship rings in the event that they win the championship. My question for you is, what do you think about that?
I mean, them saying that they're going to I don't see the issue in that. I mean, when you play a certain amount of games with a team, you get a ring. Like, did they come off? So, what did they say again exactly? So maybe I'm thinking about it.
If the Lakers win the championship, they expect their rings.
I mean, yeah, they played. If they met the criteria, they will get a ring. That's up to them in the league if they met the games played criteria. If they're trying to come off saying that they deserve it, I mean, y'all got traded and the team's been better after you left. Not saying it's your fault, but when I look at their play style, I like this team better. So therefore, they want to come off ignorant in a way. I'm watching the Miami Heat just get offensive rebound after offensive rebound.
Duncan Robinson is so trash.
Oh yes, you talk about a guy not worth the money.
God dang, he's so trash.
But yeah, just to go back to the original question, if they play the right amount of games for them to get a ring, I think they deserve a ring. I think a lot of fans wanted to put the blame on them, wanted to put the blame on Russ. Wasn't necessarily his fault on why this team. Like when I say that, I mean Russ wasn't terrible. And what I seen Russ do in the playoffs, it goes to show you that Russ is a difference maker. However, he just wasn't the right fit for that team.
Let me be very, very clear. Those people are idiots.
Oh my God! The Heat got like 6 straight offensive rebounds.
Jimmy Butler. Oh, you stepped out of bounds. How many opportunities can you
I,
miss?
I literally think they might have had 6. They
But
might
no,
have
Mike,
had 6 straight offensive rebounds.
Mike, I agree with you. He was there when Anthony Davis wasn't.
Oh no, 100%. Let me real quick. I agree with that. I love this new roster. Way better. I just want to say that Russell Westbrook is. My point was Russell Westbrook still has some gas left in the tank. But this roster right now to me is a championship roster. Let me just put that out there.
I'm with that. But I like I said, I think there was a perfect opportunity with Russ there. They convoluted some stuff, and you might be new here, Chris, but everybody that was shouting fire Rob Pelinka, y'all gotta say sorry and shut up.
I'm one of them guys.
Because he made it do what it do when there seemed like no way. It ain't Kobe's team. It wasn't Kobe making them deals. Rob Pelinka, once again, figured it out. And I hope he gets the credit he deserves for that. But Russ was too integral. He was there. He was consistent. The numbers back up. He was relatively decent. And when you're playing with a bunch of bums, your plus minus going to look bad. Your win-loss ain't going to look bad. Or it's going to look bad. So, whatever. He was valuable in peace, and he absolutely deserves a ring with the Lakers should they win the finals.
Another offensive.
Duncan Robinson, you bum. Get him off the court. And the Knicks look just dead.
They do. The Knicks look dead. He can't hit a shot.
This is awful basketball. I just want to be clear.
I just want Julius Randle or Gabe Vincent to hit a 3 in the next 8 minutes. That's all I need.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. But no, I agree with the Lakers roster now, but it's still an Anthony Davis roster. Mm-hmm. If Anthony Davis plays well, they probably will win. If he plays bad, they probably will lose. So I think there was a bunch of big pieces they got, but he's still the linchpin to making it happen.
Absolutely.
My question for you, we are watching this Knicks Heat game.
Mm-hmm.
We just talked about the high quality. I wish Kenny was here for me to share in my joy at watching the amount of bricks that are being shot and the inability to box out. But I do want to ask, the New York Knicks are the favorite here. And now it looks like they're going on a run with defense. RJ Barrett, nice finish in transition. Quick timeout, Miami 6-point game. My question for you is this a must-win for the Knicks? And if the Knicks lose this series as the favorite, would this season still be considered a success?
This is absolutely a must-win for the Knicks. When you're in the playoffs and when you have opportunity like the way they do, every game is a must-win game. And would a season look like a success? I mean, did I think the Knicks? I didn't have the Knicks that high on my playoffs list, if I can recall. I wasn't not necessarily. I said I wasn't a fan, but there was teams that I believed in more than the Knicks. So the fact that and I would have picked the Cavs to beat the Knicks. So the fact that they're here right now, to me, is a good job, and they have the opportunity. They had opportunities to win multiple games this series. So to me, this is a must-win. I think you do look at the season as a success, in my opinion. I don't think getting Jalen Brunson automatically made them a playoff contender. I mean, not a playoff contender, a championship contender. However, you just don't want to go out how the Grizzlies went out last game and you're sitting your starters with 7 minutes left. To me, that shows no fight, and I'm still upset about that. So I don't think the Knicks will go out like that. I do think this is a success for them, and I do think if they win this game, they have a good opportunity of winning the series.
Okay. You said you think they have a good opportunity if they win tonight. You think they'll win Game 5 if they win tonight?
Game 5's in New York?
Yep.
I always give the home team, especially when it's a 2-2 series, I usually give the home team, an extra little nudge.
Okay. I'm with it. I think it's hard to win the series when the best player on the court is on the other team.
I'm not mad at that statement.
So We'll see if they can overcome it. But right now, Jimmy Butler has been the best player, and typically that translates to a win.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically enough, Devin Booker just happened to be very great as well. And Katie was good too to counteract Joker, but typically not how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to follow up on Phoenix though. There's always this alpha 1A, 1B, whose team is it dynamic. I think there's a lot of that in Phoenix from a secondary role of what everyone's role is. My question for you is, would you consider that team Devin Booker's team or Kevin Durant's team? And depending on your answer, I have a follow-up question.
The reason I'm gonna say Devin Booker's team is because this is not the first time in the playoffs he's done this. He's been with that team the longest, and I think right now it is Devin Booker's team. The way he's playing right now, the consistency he's playing with, and the fact that he's been on this team the most. It's not like how it was with the Knicks. I mean, with the Nets, where Kyrie was there a year, and then it was up in the air. Do I think Kevin Durant is an all-time player? Absolutely, but right now I think this is Devin Booker's team.
Good. That's what I thought. I agree. My question then is, will Kevin Durant be happy knowing that this is not his team? Because the gripe in Golden State was it was always going to be Steph's team. So given what we're seeing, Booker likely would win the MVP of a finals game or series, and it's his city in his town. Do you think Kevin Durant will be happy in that role long term?
Well, I think Kevin Durant knew what he signed up for wanting to go to Phoenix. I think he had maybe different opportunities to go to teams where he could have been the number one guy outright. But he knew exactly what he was doing coming to Phoenix when you have a young up and coming star in Devin Booker. You knew what you signed up for. So I don't think it should be an issue. I don't think it will be an issue. When I look at how he's playing right now, it's not like his numbers are dropping. Kevin Durant's still always going to be Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant can still always score 30 when need be. So I don't think it's going to be a terrible issue with Kevin Durant. I don't think his prize will get in the way. I look at how he left Golden State. I think that course just ran his turn. So I'm real excited. Oh, man, come on. I needed that, Joyce Randall. But I'm real excited to see them two guys play together. And at the end of the day, if Kevin Durant's on fire, I know Devin Booker will defer to Kevin Durant because he has that much respect in this NBA.
Okay.
This is Devin Booker's team. And the way he's playing right now, he deserves it to be his team because he's playing at all-time high.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, I'm with it. I think it'll be interesting to see what comes of it. But I do agree. I think it's Devin Booker's team, and I think it needs to be similar to, I think, what LeBron wanted to do with AD, but AD has just not been consistent enough to take that role.
Mm-hmm.
Quick update, everybody. 6 minutes left. Miami up 8. When a defensive foul on Jalen Brunson, and he is upset and taking a quick trot. So that brings me to this game. I see what the Knicks have done, and I know you said you would basically consider this a successful season.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the Knicks, based on what you see, what do they need to get to the next level? I think they hit it out the park with Jalen Brunson. Everyone would agree. Mm-hmm. They extended RJ Barrett, the first round that they extended in like a decade or more. They have Julius Randle. They have Mitchell Robinson, some young talent, Josh Hart. What do you think the Knicks need in order to take that next step?
Getting that consistent guy on the bench. You have a Quickly, you have Toppin, but there's no consistency, especially in the playoffs. I like Quickly. I love his game. There's no consistency right now. So they need I don't want to say a made guy, but it just might be a made guy to come off the bench and be that guy that can give them 12 to 15 points every night. No questions asked.
Who do you like?
And that's something I got to think about who fits that role. But that's something that they need. Because when I look at their starters, like you said, you got your 3 scorers in Randall and Brunson and RJ Barrett. You got your defensive anchor in Mitchell Robinson. You could put a guy like Grimes in there with 3 and D or Hart as defense. But the consistency off the bench, like I said, Toppin and quickly, nice young guys. You might need a veteran guy in there, and that's something I gotta go down and look about to see who's gonna come out their bench and be consistent for them. But I think that's really a piece in their rotation that they need. And I'm looking at Julius Randle with 5 fouls. Oh my gosh.
Decisions.
But
Do you
yeah,
keep Julius in with 5 fouls?
how much time is left? 5 minutes?
5:28 down, potentially 10.
And see, this is why I talk about the bench. Who on their bench is giving them any help?
There you go. You just said it.
Because if you had a guy like Toppin right now who can play that 3-4, then you put him in there. But Toppin's plays 6 minutes, and this is Tibbs also, by the way. This is what Tibbs do. He doesn't utilize his bench.
He gets his benches do get really short in the playoffs.
I'm looking at Quickly that didn't even sniff the floor unless he's hurt. Quickly didn't even sniff the floor. I'm looking at Toppin that played 6 minutes. Those are your two main guys off the bench to give you scoring, and they haven't.
Fournier can give you scoring.
Yeah, and that's another guy who knows he's not even seeing the floor. Looking at RJ Barrett, just puts his head down and drives like he always does.
All right. Well, we're gonna see what happens. We will continue to keep it moving. Since we haven't had you here, we can take a little right-hand turn. Over under 13 wins, Philadelphia Eagles next year.
Over. Exact or over? That's my guess. 13 exact or over.
Okay. So I take it you are happy with what you've seen in the offseason and feel like you guys will definitely win the division.
Yes, 100%.
And where does the train end?
As far as how the season go?
Yeah.
Oh, back to that bowl. Back to this bowl or bust. It's always like that when you have a season like you do, and you get there and you have a chance at winning. It's always bowl or bust. It's no NFC Championship, and I'm happy. It's bowl or bust.
Are you concerned about the dream team haze creeping up?
I'm personally not, because I looked at how the roster was constructed, and I felt like we got a lot of guys through the draft. And so when I look at the Golden State Warriors and their original championship team and the way they went to two championships, a lot of it was through the draft. Yes, you get an Andre Iguodala who's a missing gem, but your main guys, your Harrison Barnes, your Draymond Green, your Steph Curry, your Klay Thompson, those are homegrown guys. And when I look at what the Eagles are doing, you have your Devontae Smith, you have your Jalen Hurts, we have our defensive line. We just went and drafted Javon Carter. All these guys, you're going out and getting through the draft. I think this is a homegrown team. I am excited how this team is going to go. And I don't think it's too much of a dream team. The dream team to me is like what the Rams did. Odell, Allen Robinson, Bobby Wagner. We got Matthew Stafford. A lot of our guys are home base, and so I think that can cut that narrative down some.
Okay. All right. We're going to see. We are going to see. Definitely the NFC East is in position to be a great division again, but we've seen in the last couple of years, we think it'll be a good division, and then it disappoints. Quick update. The Knicks are within 6 with 4.5 left. Julius Randle did stay on the court.
Oh! Listen, you talk about unsung heroes. You talk about guys off the bench.
Caleb
and he's one of those guys that the Knicks may need. Give it to Randle. Oh, my God. Give it to Randle.
That was a big-time play there.
Give me a 3 right here, Randle.
Julius.
Where's Gabe Vincent? Why is Duncan Robinson still in the game?
I don't know, because that man is awful.
But yeah, I'm looking at what Caleb Martin is doing, and that's what he brings. That's what he brings.
Have some for your mama and your children.
I'm literally one Gabe Vincent 3 away from a smile on my face.
Gabe Vincent 3, ladies and gentlemen. Jalen Brunson with the big shot. We're going to have some shot makers and some shot takers here down the stretch. So that brings us to the second game tonight. I got to ask, Who you got?
LA.
Ooh,
I got LA. I do.
I love LA. Chris has LA. So you have this going how long then?
If LA wins,
Yeah, that's what you
6.
said.
6.
Get it done in 6. Okay. Well,
And
we gonna see.
we definitely want to see. Like it's been a very interesting series, to say the least. Very interesting series.
I would agree.
I look at how the last couple of games have went. I look how LeBron understands the moment. Um, he understands how important it is for him to be great. I think he's been relatively quiet the past few games in the playoffs. He's only averaging 22 points. He's shooting terrible from the 3-point line. He's not really the playmaker we're used to him being. I think this game we get an old school LeBron-esque game. I do.
Ooh.
I do.
He seizes the moment, is what you're saying.
I think we get a 30. I think we get a 30-point type of game from LeBron.
So I talked about the importance of Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
If LeBron comes out with that mindset and intention, do you think AD can go along with that, or will that stunt AD's growth, and ultimately will that lead to success?
The reason why I say he can go along with that because I've seen him do it in the bubble. I've seen those two really be dominant together at the same time in the bubble. Did Julius Randle foul out the game?
I believe Julius Randle did just foul out on an
there
offensive
goes my
foul.
parlays.
Max Strus looks like he took it in the chest. So, yep, it's official. No review there. So down 7, under 3 minutes. The Knicks have lost Julius Randle, and they give up another offensive rebound. That is going to be the story. That is the headline. Offensive rebounding. Just didn't get it done when he needed to on the glass. 9-point game. A bit of a push off that they did not call, but a big shot there by RJ Barrett. So interesting times here. Interesting times. The Knicks are gonna have to figure some things out without Julius Randle down the stretch. Again, Julius Randle has fouled out on an offensive foul. So we'll get ready to close this out here as this game comes to a close.
Mm-hmm.
My question for you and what you're saying is you have no faith in bam, big shot.
Honestly, when I look at this lineup right now for Miami, don't be surprised if this lineup closes games. When I look at Kyle Lowry, especially the way Gabe Vincent played the last 2 games and how Kyle Lowry played the last 2 games, he can still be considered their closing guard. So I
Let me
won't
tell you,
shocked.
Kyle Lowry is making a name for himself here.
Yeah, and this is the role, and this might be the role Chris Paul needs to play.
Chris Paul can't. Well, neither is Kyle Lowry's not a great shooter, but he hits big shots. He can do that.
He only down
Max
7.
Strus, make the pass, bro.
See RJ Barrett. Oh, he made the right pass. He just missed, and that's why you got to.
That's a good shot.
It's a great shot.
The great Mark Jackson says it's a make or miss league when it looks like the Knicks are missing. But Chris, good to have you back. We got a fight this weekend, which we'll cover on our Thursday show.
And I'm mad I wasn't here to talk about that that funny Garcia and Tank fight. I hope everybody knew Tank was going to win.
I think we all picked it that way. I thought that Garcia could hurt him, and he didn't really. He telegraphed a lot of his punches, but you hear. What do you think is next for Tank? Who do you think is the next best fit?
That's a good question. I think right now you got maybe 4 guys.
Okay.
One depends on who wins between Haney. I think he's about to face Lomachenko, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
You got Shakur, but that might be too early. And then you got a rematch with Cruz. I think that's not a bad fight.
That was a good fight.
That's a good fight. I mean, like the reason why I threw that in there because he's a guy that people said, oh, I remember it was I can't remember the name, but a guy that Floyd fought, and Floyd was giving rematches to people who said, oh, that he should have won or he was right there to beating him, and then in a rematch, Floyd showed why he's great. I think that's the turn Tank Davis needs to do. All these fights, people that he doesn't win via knockout that goes decision and it's questionable. I think he needs to fight him again, showing why he's truly that dominant. So if he can't get a Haney, a Lomachenko, or Shakur fight, then I think you get your rematch with Cruz.
Okay. I'm with it. I am with it. So we will see what comes of that. Anything else before we get up out of here for the people?
Don't bet threes in the playoffs. It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss.
It is hit or miss.
I'm looking at these tickets right now, and I want to ball my eyes out because off extra $100 that could have been in my pocket is no longer in my pocket because Julius Randle wants to shoot. Let's see what Julius Randle shot today. Julius Randle goes 1 for 4 from 3, and you get a 1 for 5 from Gabe Vincent. So when in doubt, just go points, rebounds, and assists. If it's not Steph Curry, don't bet threes.
I'm with you on that. Clay's been pretty consistent recently, but
he had his woes too.
Yeah. They come and go for sure. So with that, y'all enjoy the game tonight. Let's go Dubs. Let's make it a series. If not, it could get late early. Anthony Davis, what you got? We out.
All sports, all plays.